fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. So loud as the hours pass, we're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlights, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay young forever, we'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. The morning is the afternoon, we lay awake.
Good morning, beautiful people. Hopefully, you are more awake than I am. I woke up not too long ago and I'm still a little bit tired. So, like I said, I was going to be a few minutes late. I made it in 5 minutes. I didn't even realize what time it was until Marilyn said something in our group chat. I'll just take that out of my pocket. Those little mints, I tell you, lifesavers. Good morning, Rebecca. Touched by Yarn. How's it going? Good morning, Thomas. Have service out here in the bush for once. That's great. I am just going to finish doing the setup of the live stream. Shouldn't be too long. I'm pretty much done. Um, this is okay. This is okay. It's not a paid promotion. It's just a live stream. Hopefully, I didn't forget anything. Customization. I will remove the live reaction. This is there. No need to put a trailer at the moment. I'm taking a risk. I am not doing the subscribers only because I'm curious to see if I'm going to get rushed in by scammers and such. It's always uh, it's always kind of cool when that happens. As long as they stay polite, I don't mind. They're still giving me watch hours and watch time, and credentials do not match our records. Okay. Oh, so that was okay. Okay, awesome. What else I need to do? Good morning, Dave. How's it going? Uh, we're supposed to have a beautiful day outside today, and my plan is to go out and do the video I need to do for Scott because unfortunately I cannot make it to the Homesteaders Conference. And uh, I told Scott that he asked me if I wanted to do a video, so I'll try to make an hour-long video, kind of like a podcast, where I explain what I do on my property, um, what kind of food I grow, and so on. The goal is to show how I do the whole homesteading thing, the whole garden, the property itself, the food forest, everything in terms of being able to provide for my family all year round. So, what now? Oh, it's not what I wanted to minimize. Come on, let me. This is not what I want to minimize. Okay, then. I'll do it like this. Stupid computer. Good morning, Marilyn. So, yeah, I will be walking around my property, showing the stuff I do, showing what kind of garden I use, try to make something interesting to keep people interested in the video. I doubt that having a video without being able to be there to answer questions and stuff is going to have the same impact. But unfortunately, like I said, I could not make it next weekend. I have the provincials, and I knew it was going to be at the same time. It always is. But fun thing is, next year I am no longer coaching. My kids are past that age, and if there's something going on, I'll be able to make it. Unless it's at the same time as one of my exams, but I doubt. Um, I didn't do much yesterday. There was the second division provincials. I went to watch a few games. Um, I got to see the daughter of um, my friend Mark that passed away 3 years ago, and she looks like her mom. That's insane. I'm pretty sure they won. I didn't see anything um, in terms of who won and stuff. They usually announce it pretty quickly. That would be cool. Let me check. They didn't post anything yet, so I'm guessing nothing was announced. Oh well. All right then. Um, their team. Actually, I mean, she was incredible in nets, and I'm pretty sure that's a team that's going to win. One thing that surprised me is that there was a team there that I didn't expect to see there, and I didn't expect them to do so good. There was a team from Saint Quentin. For those of you who don't know where that is, it's about 45 to an hour from here. They're in the same region as we are in the Restigouche County. That means that they're going to be there at the regionals. We thought up until yesterday that it was just going to be us, Camelton, Kedgwick. Kedgwick didn't play any games against anyone. So we know they can be, it doesn't mean they're not good. They can be pretty good. But experience wise, they're going to be lacking some game experience. But to see another team being added to the tournaments yesterday and to see that they were doing pretty well, I'm not going to say that it's scary. It's going to be exciting for sure. There's going to be another team competing against us, and we're going to practice today. Usually have our practices on Mondays and Wednesdays, but minor soccer started their tryouts for the summer teams, which kind of sucked because we are in the middle of the most important part of the season. We have our provincials in 6 days, and we have the zones or the regionals for the Acadian Games coming up in 3 weeks. And out of six girls on my team, 4 are trying out for that team. And there's at least one guy that I know, one boy, and maybe 2 that are trying out for the boys team. And they practice on Mondays and Wednesdays. So we have to switch our practices a little bit, and parents voted for Sunday. So some of those practices are going to happen on Sundays, and one of them is today. Coming back to the homesteading aspect of it, aspect of my channel, I was walking around again yesterday, and to see the stuff starting to get growing, the stuff that's starting to get out of dormancy, to wake up. It's always fun. It's pretty cool. At this time of year, that's one of the things I like. Just go outside and see what's growing, see what survived. I know for a fact that my pear trees died. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because one of them had a disease and it got transferred to the other one. I don't know. Maybe something ate the roots, because I took it out and the roots were dead. So I don't know. I don't know how to even explain it. I didn't share the live stream on social media. still not fully awake. Let me share this here. I know Tracy is getting ready for church. You are listening. I know. I'll share this link here anyway. Maybe Tracy can stop by and give a little thumbs up before he's on his way. This time of year is always harder for me. Yesterday, my brother would have been 38 years old. He was born on May 3rd, 1987. And he passed away on a Saturday, May 7th. So May 7th is Wednesday. I will be going for a drink at the Tombstone like I always do every year. I'll go have a drink with my brother. But it is what it is. There's nothing we can do at this point other than remember the good things. But it's always a time of year where all those memories come back, and yeah, it's hard. I found a gooseberry bush I did not plant in my hedgerow. Cool. That's always it's always fun when you find stuff that you didn't plant. Like 2 years ago, I found what was it? I think one of them was a red currant. And what else? Was it grapes? Or I don't remember. It was just something that I randomly planted like in the ground because I bought something. The branch was cut or cracked by accident, and I just took the branch and put it in the ground in the fall. And I got there the next spring, and it was alive and growing. I'm like, cool, but I didn't even remember putting anything in the ground. So when you find stuff, it's always cool. At the coffee now, awesome. Good morning, Tiffany. How's it going? Yeah, it's always fun to find stuff that you didn't expect to see. Sorry, we don't have the long car ride to talk this year. Yeah, I know. Doesn't mean that we can't have a little chat, which is what I'm doing now. Although I'm kind of talking alone, but it's okay. It's okay. Maybe again in the future we'll start going back to the conference and find a way to make it shorter. It's exhausting because it's a 13-hour drive. So we usually try to divide that by two, like in two strips. I drive from here to Darren's place, which is about 5 hours and a half maybe. And then we leave from Darren's place the next morning. We make it to the cabin in Ontario, which is another 6-hour drive. It's easier to have it split in two, but at the same time, you're gone for a lot longer. You have the conference on Saturday, and then on our way back, it's the same thing. We don't want to drive. Like, I don't want to leave the cabin in Ontario on a Sunday morning at 7 o'clock and have to drive all the way back home and arrive home around, well, it would be 7 o'clock Quebec time, but 8, 9 o'clock my time, then having to go back to work the next day. It would just not make sense. So we usually drive back to Darren's place and sleep there. We arrive there late on Sunday night usually because we go around and always try to go visit Hickory Croft Farm, Chris and Steph. And it's a little detour, but it's always fun to see them. They have such a beautiful property, such a beautiful homestead, and everything they're doing there is incredible. They have a few channels, Hickory Craft Farm. They have um, one about sheep and one about um, preserve and stuff. I don't remember the names, Pantry Living or something like that. Pretty interesting stuff. If you're into that kind of videos, I suggest you go and check them out because they're doing some awesome things. Well, we arrive at Darren's place usually after after dark, and the next morning we leave early so that we get home, before supper time. And it's like I leave on Thursday morning, and I usually arrive back home on Monday night. Doesn't seem like much. I mean, it's only 5 days, but keep in mind that 4 out of those 5 days are basically just traveling. With kids and work, it makes it very, very hard. Salut Martin, comment ça va? But this year, yeah, going back to work on Tuesday, this year, um, it's not happening. And it's not just because Marilyn couldn't go. Um, the regular homesteading conference was switched to some point at the end of the summer, which is probably the busiest time of year for me, um, because it's a harvesting, preserving season, and it's hard to get vacations in the summer. And Scott is doing, I don't know if it's a takeover of the conference or just something new because it's it's going to be something a little bit different. And I know that he's working hard to get everything going, everything ready. It's just that this year it was impossible for me because of the provincials. I mean, I cannot let my son go when I'm the coach and he's playing. I mean, I don't like missing out on my kids' activities. Um, Next year, they don't want to do sports. They want to do more like improvisation group, theater and stuff like that. Um, they're into music and that kind of stuff, which is also very important. It's also pretty cool. And hopefully, I won't be missing anything, but I would love to go to the conference next year. It's still way early. I don't even know if I'm going to have vacation by that time. Honestly, it's all going to depend on um, if I go hunting or not. And well, it's mostly if I get drawn to go hunting. It's going to be depending also on when my national exam is going to be. If it's at the same time as my exam, I might be there for different reasons. Um, Although I think that the English exam is done in Halifax and the French one is done in Ottawa. And taking the class in English, um, people are telling me that it's easier if we do it in English because we're taking the English class. All the words, all the terminology um, is different if you do it in French. So we'll see. There is still, I mean, more than a year from now. Saying that I would love to go doesn't mean that I'm definitely going to make it. But I can start working my way to get there, I suppose. My plans for today will be to do the video for the conference because I can't be there. Scott wants me to make an hour-long video. I have a plan um, of what I'm going to say, what I'm going to talk about, and hopefully I'm not going to have too much and but and I want to get something going fluidly and make something interesting for people. At least I can cut the parts where I don't really know what to say when I'm struggling to find my words. I can cut those parts out, and I can do some voiceover if I need to. I can do some B-rolls over if I need to as well. Cool. Yeah, go video. I also need to make a follow-up video on the sprouts from Dollar Store. They're all grown up now. Unfortunately, the cat threw the bucket on the floor, which probably slowed down the growth a little bit, but I was able to pick it up, fix it up a little bit. The only bad thing now is that because everything was together, like boom, there's a little bit of soil in the plants. Like it's a little bit dirty. It's not going to be fun to eat, but we took a few pieces here and there, and it's kind of spicy. Arugula sprouts are spicy. I don't know if it's normal. I'm gonna see what I do with the sprouts. Obviously, I don't want to waste it. I just don't know how to use it. I also want to start going out on hikes and explore and see what's growing in the woods right now. Fishing season is started in the brooks and stream, but the water is still way too high. I usually wait until May 15 when I can go and fishing in the dams and lakes. There's more fun fishing at that point, and yeah, I know for sure that I can fish anywhere I want at that point. I have to get planning. Yeah, same here. I saw that my tomatoes are not growing. I don't know if it's a bad batch of seeds. I'm gonna have to start over. I have some that survived. I have the soil now. Oh, something cool that happened in my area lately, Martin, you're probably aware because you're not too far. We are not big enough population-wise to have a Costco, but we were able to open a Mama Baba warehouse, which is basically the same stuff as a Costco. It's a warehouse, same brand as Costco. It's not as big as a Costco would be, but they still have a lot of interesting stuff. You don't need a membership, but you pay a little bit more. That being said, if you start looking at the numbers and you're good at math, it's still a tiny bit cheaper because you're buying in bulk than what it is to buy it at another store. For example, I bought a bag of potting soil at Walmart for like $10, but I bought one at that warehouse, the Mama Baba's warehouse. It came to $32 with the taxes for like the big cube, which is about 5 times the size of the other one. I usually get the same one from my cousin that lives in Moncton, and whenever she goes, whenever she comes down here, she goes and buys one for me, and it's I usually pay because it's still like $24.99 or $23.99 plus taxes. So I just always give her $30. I'll send you $30 for trouble of putting it in your car. And it cost me I think it came up to 31. Let me check. I'll do because it was $27.99. So okay, it was $32.19. Yeah. So it cost me $2 more, but I have it here. I don't have to worry about anyone. And what's $2 really for potting soil? It's a lot cheaper than what I would get it at Walmart. Still -1 Celsius tonight, but looks like night temps are getting in the pluses. Maybe next weekend I'll plant those that can tolerate small frost. Cool. Yeah, I need to start working on my greenhouse. Um, because if you saw the mess, um, I mean, it's not good, not good at all. I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna try to build something, maybe like a hybrid of what Darren has and something I can build here. I need something very, very solid because the wind is crazy. So the back wall is where the wind is coming from, and it's facing north. So I don't need to put plastic there. Um, and I was thinking about maybe like doing something like in an angle like this, just to make sure that the rain and the snow don't necessarily stay on top. I can still build a little frame, although I have to be careful because if somebody sees me building something, I might get in trouble. So I have to just repair my greenhouse. It's crazy. Let's not go there. Are there lots of damage from the high storm your way? Not for me. I'm glad to see you are getting the garden going. Yeah, that's good news. I'll have to say that to my parents in Camelton. Yeah, well, it's in Atholville. It's actually closer to your parents. It's where the mall is in Atholville. Um, it's where I think it's Sears way back when used to be, and then they switched that. It was what's it called? They had like furniture store of some sort, and then it's been closed for quite some time. I think the mall is finally at full capacity for the first time in like 30 years. Every little space is rented or about to be. There's a giant tiger. There's a heart. There's the Dollarama is huge. Alden, Shoppers Drug Mart, Pentagon, a few like store like for women clothes and stuff like that. Um, there's one there for ladies. It's not Senza, but it's something similar. There's another one at Mark's Warehouse, and there's a little place in the middle where they have. It's almost like a farmer's market, but they don't really. Well, they do it all year round, and they don't always have gardening stuff. Like they don't always have fresh produce. Some of them are doing crochet. Some of them are selling books. It's mostly just a little flea market kind of thing. There's a guy that has collectibles. He just moved, and the new place he has is huge. So I'm guessing he's making money because the place he's renting is huge. He used to have a little tiny spot that was like, well, maybe 3 times the size of this here, and now it's like 4 times bigger than what he had previously. They never shopped there, so they would not know. Well, if you go from your parents and like where they live and come towards Camelton, when you arrive at Sugarloaf, the mountain, um, it's right there. It's right next to the highway. You see it. There's a Canadian Tire, um, a superstore, a Kent store, the Walmart, and the shopping mall. And the shopping mall has all those things. And like not too far after, there's a Garage Irving store and a Pro Nature and Chinese restaurant. Everything is in that little area. And then if you go to like Camelton, it's only about 5 minutes away. It's like Camelton and Atholville. We've always just said that it was Camelton, but it's actually like Moncton and Dieppe or like Montreal and Laval. You know, we say we go to Montreal. We never say we go to Laval. even though that's usually where we go. When I say I go see Darren, I say I go to Quebec. I don't say that I go to little tiny municipality that he lives in. But now they're all under one municipality. Um, there's another shopping mall in Hamilton. It doesn't have as much things. Basically, they have a Dollarama, a Tim Hortons, 1026 restaurant, which is pretty good, by the way. Cook, they changed cook lately, and it's amazing. A Rossi, Service Canada, Service New Brunswick is there. That's pretty much it. Shoppers, Drug Mart, I think. May 4th. Yeah. But that being said, I have the potting soil I need here to start planting more stuff. So that's going to happen. I mean, we're early May. It's crazy. Time goes by so fast. I can now start planting pumpkins and all those things. I just don't have a greenhouse to put it in. In about 3 weeks, I'm going to start dragging stuff outside and inside. So my tomatoes need to be ready. I don't think they will be. I might have to buy a few plants this year. But like I said, it is what it is. I'm going to need to use my Pro Yama power tool to go behind my dad's property to cut all the little branches, all the little vines, trees that grow there, and have the guy come and till the land after, so that next year we can start planting potatoes. But we still have the community garden. I'm going to have an aisle, probably where I'm going to plant carrots, zucchinis, and squash. What else can I plant there? The rutabaga. I can probably start rutabaga indoors. I don't have little tiny cells though. I have 89 pumpkins and squash for community garden and mine. It's getting full here. Awesome. That's pretty cool. But does your boyfriend garden as well, Marilyn? If so, that must make like a huge difference. Because here I'm doing everything on my own in terms of garden. Like, I mean, my girlfriend takes care of the inside of the house and I take care of the outside of the house. I need to go and finish pruning my trees because they're starting to come out of dormancy right now. I have some grapevines that I want to try to root. Now, I need to put them somewhere safe, somewhere that I can dig them out of. He does take care of them. They're in the ground. Well, that's awesome. My family will take care of them when they're in their plates on the table. What else do I have coming? I don't even have my document open. Where is that? Seeds. Good morning, Tracy. You're not going to church? I said earlier, maybe Tracy will stop by to say hi before he goes to church. Usually at this time you're leaving or gone already. Got home late last night. Yeah, we saw that in the chat. The summer is already full. Cool. Good morning. I'm glad you had fun back home. Let me check at my document here. So I have some kale growing. My peppers are not growing at all. Is there anything that I really need to do now? Yep, got home about midnight. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm kind of late on if I want to plant broccoli. I planted my kale. Toothache plant, I'm late. Chives, I'm late. All the perennials, I'm late. Lettuce could be planted now, I guess. The lettuce resists pretty well to the cold snaps, right? I could be planting my carrots, but the garden, community garden is not ready. There's some stuff I could be planting inside. Cantaloupe and other melons. Market more cucumbers. I don't like planting cucumbers indoors because the roots are so fragile. You touch the roots and you kill the plant. I'd rather just wait and plant everything straight up in the ground and hope that they survive. But I can probably start them like in 2 weeks from now. Give me like a little edge. They won't have time to grow too fast so that the roots won't be bothered. And they'll have time to come out a little bit so that the bugs don't eat them. Squash and all that stuff. I would need to be planted now. Pumpkins. Lovage. I don't have any more lovage plants. Lovage seeds. Let's remove the ones that I don't have from my list. I can share my screen instead of just talking about what I'm about to do. Might be easier for you all to follow. So this is my list of seeds right here. So I have, let me just select all. I have 528 different types of seeds in my inventory. But keep in mind, some of them I have more than one pack, obviously. Some of them are seeds that I bought. Some of them are seeds that I got. Some of them, I don't know where they're from. As you can see, Plowman's Backyard. Kendra sent me some perennial seeds. I still have some left. Jardin Les Communes, Burpee, OSC. I have them divided all by those categories here. Annual herbs, basil, beans, beets, broccoli, cabbage, carrots, chives, cilantro, corn, so on and so on. I have others which don't fall into any of those categories. Savory, spinach, sprout seeds, squash, tomatoes, trees, zucchinis, and so on. And what I did was simply mark the manufacturer of the seeds, what type it was. See, like I have some trees here: sea buckthorn seeds, sumac seeds, Syrian pear trees. This is how long it takes to sprout from the day I plant them. How deep I need to plant them, how spaced I need to plant them. Earliest planting time before last frost. So when you look behind your package and it says 6 to 8 weeks before last frost, I put 6 and 8. Days to harvest from, 180. And in this case, because it's a biannual plant, I put another 365 days. So some of those trees take a lot longer. As you can see, those are bad examples, but let's say the baby aroma tomatoes, they take 5 to 10 days to sprout after you plant them. You should plant them 6 to 8 weeks before last frost and 75 to 80 days to harvest. So that's number 391. Let's go and find number 391. So baby Roma tomatoes, I have 1 pack of those. They're tomatoes. So there's a formula that calculates the frost date that I have here. This is the first frost. This is the last frost. So the formula calculates the date. And in this tab here, the amount of weeks. So that's why it's times 7, because I have to know the amount in days. So it was 6 to 8 weeks. So that 6 times 7 is 42. So that's 42 to 8 weeks. 8 times 7, 56. 42 to 56 days before last frost, which is, like I showed you here, May 31st. So it goes back from May 31st, 47, 56 days. So 47 days would be this year. 56 days would be this year, because obviously if you go 6 weeks before last frost, you're getting closer to your frost date. If you go 8 weeks, you're a little bit further. Then if I plant them anytime during those dates, the earliest I should start seeing some sprouts would be April 14, so which was 5 days, 5 to 10 days of sprouting. So it's 5 days from the first day I would potentially plant them, and 10 days from the last date I would potentially plant them. So in theory, if I follow my schedule and I follow the schedule closely, I should see stuff sprouting between those dates. I should, in theory, start harvesting. It was 75 to 80 days after everything was transplanted outside and so on. So that would bring me here, 75 to 80 days. And the reason that it's 75 to 80, you're saying, well, there's only 5 days difference. Why is there 10 days here? Well, it all depends on the sprout time and on when you plant them. So if you plant them, I still think that there might be a formula error, because if I plant them here and they were taking 75 days to grow, I would have a bigger difference, because, yeah. So my formula might be wrong a little bit, but still. I think it calculates everything from my frost date. Yeah, that's the thing. It's calculating everything from my frost date, because in theory, I don't put them outside before my last frost date is gone. So that's why you're still seeing just a 10-day difference here. So if they sprout around this time, but that's the way that my spreadsheet works. You know, I was against having a heating pad because it was nonsense. Well, I got some for Christmas and used them this year instead of cranking the room temperature up. Save $50 in electricity. See, that's awesome. Yeah, you must have a lot of footage from the trip, and it's going to be awesome to watch. I've been learning to use Power BI lately. Your sheet makes me think of that now. I don't even know what Power BI is. Good morning, Karen. How's it going? You're not late. You're precisely on time. Since I have been having my own seeds, I have a free garden this year. That's great. I just need to remove some of the weeds, but besides that, everything is great here as well. I almost did not buy seeds this year. I'm getting my reserve down. Yeah, I don't think I bought anything this year. All the stuff I have this year is stuff I got for free or stuff that remains from last year. Dave, this was my first time saving seeds and even sprouting seeds. Most have come up, so exciting. Yeah, it's like when you grow your own food, you're excited to finally have that first plate of fresh vegetables from your own garden. Same thing with seeds. When you harvest the seeds, see, that's what I do with mine. Blue Hubbard, Giteo Okosomen, squash seeds. I think these are, well, not sure what kind of squash they are. I think they're the Geteo Kosomin as well, but I'm not 100% sure. I have some spaghetti squash here. I'm going to be sharing these anyway. Yeah, I think they're pretty sure they're the Geteo Kosomin squash seeds. I'm going to be planting some more of those. I love those squash. They're delicious. I usually buy plants from a local nursery. So you're going to be saving lots of money this year by having your own seeds. You'll see a huge difference. That being said, when I look at my calendar here, there's a lot of stuff that should be in the ground already. But I can start planting spinach, kale, lettuce. I used all my sea kale. Let's just remove the kale that I planted. Sea kale fairy seeds. Was that the one? Yeah. I got none, and none of them sprouted. I don't have any sea kale left. I can still plant chives. Chives, the fun thing about chives, you can just throw a bunch of seeds all over the place, and you're going to see them popping up everywhere. I just can't wait to see my mint come up, because I have some in front of the house, and that's where it's going to get interesting. I want to see if my rose shrubs survived, if any of them are going to grow. I know that I have one, maybe two that are alive. I should be able to propagate them. It is a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be, but we'll see. I suppose it should just give them a lot of compost. I had great results from safe seeds. I have a kale and a beet I overwinter growing to seed in a greenhouse. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's something I want to do more as well. It's just that when you have to harvest for a family of 7, and my girlfriend cannot. It's not that she doesn't want to, but because of the Meniere disease, there are a few things that she cannot do. Like, she cannot be standing up in front of boiling water for too long. She cannot stay up with running water for too long. So if I have to clean some stuff or blanch some stuff or anything like that, the sound of the pressure canner, she can't be near it. It's triggering her ears. So, like, there's only so much she can do to help. And to do that, all the preserve, all the seed saving, it's becoming like very, very hard to do. The squash are pretty easy because you just leave the squash on the counter. When you want to eat it, you clean it, and you have all the seeds right there ready to use. But if I want to save the seeds from tomatoes, it's a little bit harder because we use the tomatoes for spaghetti sauce and stuff like that. So basically, we boil them and we remove the seeds after. Like, it's time saving is causing me issues with seeds or preservation, seed savings. Same with cucumbers. I mean, I harvested so much cucumbers last year that was just insane. I might have to. I'm gonna use the same method, and I might have to use some in the blender and freeze them again. I still have a few ones frozen, actually. I should start putting ice cubes back in my water. Lemon balm is already coming up. I have to check if it is coming up. because I know I have some lemon balm, lime balm. The mandarin balm is growing somewhere where I had another plant competing with it. So I was thinking about just taking the plant and putting it back somewhere. I also need to take black tarp and put it where I want to have my future greenhouse, because I have a bunch of tiny little spruce growing, and I don't want the spruce to grow where I'm going to have my vegetables growing. It's okay with me. I am old and I have time now. When I work, I have. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Family activities, the kids, they want to go fishing. So I have a bunch of different reels, rods, and stuff. Um, it's it's something I can do with them to still provide food for my family. They all want to go on a boat. Well, most of them anyway, and go fishing. Um, Now that I know a guy that does it, I'm definitely going to go. The only problem is he's only available for like the last 2 weeks of July and the first week or two of August, because after that, he's native. He has a few lobster cages, and fishing season starts. So he's not available to take people on trips and stuff. But I really want to go catch some bass, some mackerel again. I still have some frozen mackerel, but not bass. I only had about 3 basses last year. I'm hoping to be able to do a lot of catch and cook. Might go. I want to go with my dad on a fishing trip. He's got a side by side, and he's been doing it with my mom for the last 2 years. So I told him, I said, I want to go like at least once summer. And he was like, "Oh, you want to know my secret spots?" I'm like, "I already know all the spots. I just want to go with you. I just want to spend time with my dad. You can't do it all. It's give and take. Do what you can." Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. The most important thing for me is to save money on groceries. And I have a little video I did a while back where I talk about the amount of money I put in versus the amount of food that I take out. And whoever says that you're not saving money while homesteading was either not doing things properly or was lying. I mean, obviously, someone like Darren that goes with the big stuff right away, he decided to go with Highland cows. Those are expensive, and to get them going and get them breeding and to get started, that's expensive. He is eventually going to start making money, but the turnaround on those is a lot bigger. But for someone that just wants to have a little garden in their backyard, you can do a garden for like $30, even less. I mean, for $30, you can get a bucket load, tractor bucket load of compost. And that's giving you easily a 4x8 garden. You just take old boxes, put them on the ground, put the compost on top, and you have a garden. And you can plant stuff. You can plant lettuce, radishes, carrots, maybe not potatoes in a garden like this, but you could plant a few tomato plants. For $30, you'll end up saving more than $30 worth of food. I guarantee you that. Even the chickens, I did the math a while back. Someone was telling me that you can't save money on chickens. Well, not if you're trying to grow the chickens to be 20 pounds, you can't. Because once they reach a certain size, their growth is a whole lot slower. And he was trying to get 10-pound chickens. Well, if you have 10-pound chickens, you have more chances of losing chickens along the way, because the longer it takes, the more chances you have to lose them to predators, to illness, to being attacked by other chickens. there's always a chicken dying of something, and the longer you get them to try to grow them bigger, it's going to cost you more food. So of course, after a certain time, it's not necessarily worth it. But I try to have my chickens between 5 and 6 pounds, and if some of them get bigger, um, even better. So I did the math a while back. I used for about 50 chickens, about 12 bags of feed. You pay maybe $5 a chicken, and that's the price today. It was a lot cheaper than that in the past. I used to pay like $3 for a 3-week-old chicken. You keep them for 5 weeks. So even this year, you get 50 chickens, $5 a chicken. That's $250. 12 bags for those 50 chickens. So you got 12 bags of feed at $25. That's $300 plus the $250 for the chicken. So I am now at $550 for the chickens and the feed. At this time, okay, let's say I lost a lot and I only have 45 chickens left. You divide that by 45, that comes to $12.22 per chicken. You can say, well, yeah, I can get them on sale at the store. Yeah, you get them on sale at the store, they're going to be 3 pounds of chicken. I've seen the chickens at the store. It makes me laugh whenever I pass next to them. They're about the size of my cup here. 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds. If you get a full size 5-pound chicken, it's going to cost you $20 now. Even if you add $1 for the bags for sealing your chickens, you're still under $15 for a 5 to 6 pound chicken. Homegrown, a lot tastier. You know where it's coming from. You grew it yourself, and you can even give them all the kitchen scrap that you have to make them get bigger faster. You can't have organic homegrown chicken for $15 at the store. You're going to pay. It's $15 for 3-pound chickens now. It's just insane. Wallace season in front of my house in the next couple of weeks. Time to fill the freezer. Oh man, I wish you weren't so far. I want to fit like that's something I would love to do. If any one of my friend that lives nearby has a river across from them with anything other than trout, or even if you have trout, if they're big trout and you know you can catch some, let me know. I would love to go. Like I will probably won't even remember the secret spots you bring me to anyway. I just want to fill up my freezer as well. I'm gonna try with the bass, but it's tough. It may not be a lot cheaper, but with a little labor, you can have food that tastes way better than the poison they are selling at the grocery store. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, and some people say, well, you could be working another job instead of doing all the labor you do. Yeah, but you would pay tax on that labor. And I checked the other day. I did the math for that as well. And I would need, with the amount of food, the amount of money that I saved from like by not buying all that grocery, I would need to have a part-time job of at least 20 hours a week at $20 an hour. For a part-time job, $20 an hour, 20 hours a week. If you get sick, you're not getting paid. As if I'm home and I get sick, I'll just ask the kids to go feed the animals, and I'll just go harvest my potatoes tomorrow instead of today. You know what I mean? Like, I don't depend on anyone. And that's some sort of freedom for me. I don't need to explain to anyone why I can't go to work or why I'm not going to harvest my carrots today. And yeah, if you're not gardening, you're going to be looking at other ways to pass time. And those other ways will also cost money. Whether you play hockey in the winter instead of homesteading, well, hockey might not be a good example because gardening is mostly done in the summer. But I used to play softball until this year. Decided to hang out my glove, retiring. Um, it would cost me $200-300 a summer. The tournaments, the gear. eh, at my age, I don't really need more shoes. Like I have one pair, and as long as they don't have a hole somewhere, I'm gonna use them. You know what I mean? They're gonna be good for a good 10 years, but it's still I needed to buy them at some point. The same with glove. I had a glove a while back. I forgot it somewhere, and someone stole it from me. Um, well, I mean, I forgot it there. Went to look for it a few minutes later, and it was already gone. Nobody saw it. I had to buy another glove. You pay for your tuition to play. You buy a beer. You have a tournament 45 minutes away. You're going to end up eating in the canteen somewhere. That's money that you don't have to pay if you're home gardening. You're saving a lot more than what it looks like. Good morning, Shawnee. How's it going? Yeah, it is true. Yeah, and you're not relying on the system. You just do what you want to do. The meat shelves at Costco were very bare of chickens last week in Ontario. We are weighing our eggs. Lately, we were around 20 pounds since March. And the eggs, I had a document where I was calculating all the stuff I was growing and saving when I was doing the Shed Wars competition. I had the eggs entered as dozens, which was about like $4 a dozen back then, but it's like almost $5 a dozen now. Um, it goes up quickly because you can almost have, if you have a good amount of chickens, you can almost have maybe 5 dozen eggs per week. That's $25 per week. Like you're paying your bag right there. And if you sell a few eggs, someone else is going to pay for those bags. You know what I mean? It's not labor if you enjoy doing it, and it's saving your family in many, many ways. Exactly. I mean, I invested a lot, like close to a few $1,000s. Mm, just a sec. I need to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Um, and I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I invested probably close, if not more, to $2,000-3,000 worth of fruit trees and perennials in the last 10 years. If I put everything together, all the trees, all the equipment that I bought, but it's giving me fruits every year. It's an investment up front, but from now on, I will be saving like other than pruning my trees now, I don't really need to do much. I don't need to buy any more fruit trees. Does that mean I'm not going to do it? Probably not, but I don't need to. um, I have like 4 or 5 apple trees, plus if the ones that I hair grafted survived, I'm going to have like a dozen, if not more. I have plums. I might have to buy some pear trees, although I don't know why they died. I'm guessing it was a disease of some sort, so I might have to try again. Um, my cherries are still growing, my plums, my apples. I have raspberries, just raspberries alone, with the one plant I bought at like $8, $7, $8. I mean, I'm harvesting a cup of raspberry per day from September to October. That's insane. That's like $8 of raspberries every day. So every day for a month, every year, I pay for the plant that I bought. That's crazy when you think about it. Imagine the amount of money that I'm saving just on raspberries alone. Got a job. I worked 20 hours at the federal election. Cool. I was gifted 3 white pine trees free. Cool. And the white pine, the needles, they do pretty good tea. And yes, um, it's when you have something for free, it's even better. Like I have some friends that gave me free blackberries, free rose bush, rose shrubs, um, free rhubarb. You know, when you put all that together, you're saving a lot more money even there. Um, I got a lot of grapes for free. I'm gonna propagate them and share them. Um, you know, it's all money that I'm saving on the long run. I have rabbit issues at the garden. Won't be able to plant until that's solved. It's eating everything. Oh no. Oh, that sucks. And it's not easy to get rid of because it's wild animal, I suppose, and there's not really much you can do depending on where you live, depending on where you grow food. At the community garden, we've had deer and moose in the last couple of years. They've been eating the top part of the beets, and people come back thinking someone stole their beets, but the beet's still there. It's kind of actually helping a little bit because you're forcing the beet to expand the root, the bulb, to grow more leaves. We are only 9 chicken that are not laying every day. But a steady 4 to 6 eggs a day still. See, like you're probably not eating 6 eggs a day. So every week you might be able to sell a dozen egg or two. I don't know. Like it's a rabbit. Yeah. You can probably pay for your feed just by selling eggs. Trees are a good thing. Yeah, just not close to the garden. A friend went fishing in a competition, caught one of the tag fish while she's going to win $43,000 for it. Wow, that's cool. Talk about something worth doing. Crazy. That's awesome. On a bass boat. Check the fruit trees and are waking up, and survive the winter. The raspberries I planted that I had in bucket all winter look dead. The strawberries in containers over winter are dead. Um, don't be so sure about the raspberries. I don't know. I don't remember what growing zone you're in, but raspberries, if the roots are still there, they could still be alive. What I would do if I were you, I would plant the roots where I want them to be and give them a lot of compost, and maybe they would come back. I'm telling you, the one plant I bought, a raspberry plant I bought at Walmart, I thought for sure it was dead. It was just a stick hanging up at the end of the summer, and I'm like, okay, like, do I just take it out or do I just break it and whatever? I decided to leave it there, and I mean, if you saw my video last year, the amount of raspberries from that one plant are just crazy. But those plants I have more of, and they make more plants easily. Yeah, that's true. Raspberries are so expensive in the stores, so that's great. Yeah, um, raspberries and strawberries, blueberries. I mean, there's so much food you can get for free. Around here, we can drive. Well, it's not necessarily free if you count gas. But you put $20 of gas, you drive about 25 minutes away, and there's a huge cutting that's full of blueberries. You can sit there a whole day harvesting blueberries and come back home with, I don't know, you can get maybe like what, like a gallon an hour if you're used to it. Um, so you could do like 12 gallons a day, maybe 10. Let's say 10 gallons of blueberries. That's just insane, and that's free. Free. Someone I know, they have a camp in the forest, in the woods, and every year the lady takes her vacation at the same time as her boyfriend or husband. I don't think they're married. They spend 2 weeks harvesting blueberries. That's their vacation. That's what they like to do. They enjoy doing it. They're spending time together. They're out in the nature harvesting blueberries, and they can harvest about 10 gallons each per day, going for $30. The demand is so big on the blueberries. They sell like crazy. So imagine they take 10 days out of their 14, because obviously they still need to rest a little bit. So they can harvest 100 gallons each of blueberries in a good season. That's 200 gallons total between the both of them, selling for $30. You do the math. They literally pay for their hunting season with that. They go deer hunting and everything is paid for because they sold blueberries. I mean, I'm not saying someone should be selling blueberries, but if you want to harvest some for yourself, you can save a lot of money. And it's right there. There's so many wild raspberries in the woods. It's just insane. That's free food. I talked to the property owner about the rabbit. He is hopefully going to be able to remove it. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's about it. Or bring one at the community fridge. Yeah, that's cool. It's always fun to be able to give um, and share. My asparagus is up. This year is only year 2 of it. I have some that have been growing for 3 or 4 years now, so I should be able to harvest some this year. Um, Hopefully, there's not too much weed growing in between my asparagus. I I will probably plant some with my strawberries once I finish once I finish cleaning up my my raised bed, my garden bed. She caught the fish at 2 a.m. Cool. I have to put the chicken fence around the area planted to keep out rabbits. I don't have that problem here. Zone 5 here. I'm going to wait to see if the raspberries put a new growth in the next 30 days. Okay, fair enough. Good morning. Good morning, coffee walks and whatever. OG and Deb. That's great. Okay, the sun is coming out again. I have to work in a greenhouse garden. Have a nice day, Marilyn. I'm going to be doing the same thing later. Saying goodbye. Yeah. I mean, having a garden is time consuming, but it's a good addiction to have. I mean, I'd rather do a garden than do drugs, for one. Um, you're out in nature. It's still somewhat physical. You have to stay in the shade because, well, you might need to shovel. You might need to. I feel like I have a little bump on my forehead. You have to shovel. You have to clean up, to bend over, to harvest. You're always moving. You're always walking. You're always doing something physical, and you're out in nature, breathing fresh air. and you're doing something positive. Um, I have a lot of different kind of flowers on my property that are good for the bees, so I'm helping the ecosystem as well. With all the fruit trees, I'm just hoping that my apple trees survive and that I have a bunch of apples this year, a bunch of flowers. If they can blossom, it's going to be great. Um, and I will be filming everything, of course, taking pictures. And I just, I would like to know how long it takes for my fruit trees to either take or die if they are to die. Because I would love to know if they're still if they still have life in them right now, if that means that they survived the winter. If anyone knows, like I planted some hair grafted apple trees last year, um, and that's taking a branch, cutting the bark, the cambium, putting a little rooting ball, hormones around the branch, compost around it. Try to make it grow some roots, and then you cut that, you plant that, and you have a perfect clone of your tree. That worked very, very amazingly well with my gooseberry. That one, I know that it survived because it had the roots, and I transplanted it before the end of the summer, and it was still alive in the fall, and it's still alive now. So that's not a problem, and those are pretty easy to propagate. I'm gonna have the same thing with all my red and white currants. I'm gonna change the black currants. Um, I'm gonna change the spot where I grow them. Put them maybe like in front of the house to do like a little fencing or whatever. Something that I know that it's not really good. It's gonna grow like crazy at some point, and yeah, it's gonna make a little private fence somehow. Um, but all the apple trees that I did that with, some of them had a little tiny hair of roots, and I don't know if they survive or not. I don't know if they're still alive or not. Some of them I could not see the roots, but there were a little a few white bumps on them, and I'm just wondering if that was roots starting to pop out or if it was just a tree healing itself. But all those branches seem to be doing okay. Like when I scratch the top of the branch, it's still green. Still green. I hear myself talking in the background. That computer doesn't even have speakers, so that's weird. I'm cutting my first crop of romaine lettuce in the greenhouse, planting peppers and tomatoes next. That's awesome. I want to have a nice solid greenhouse for that same purpose as well, to be able to plant stuff and do a rotation. There's a lot of weeds that got into my greenhouse. I'm gonna have to get rid of all of that, but that's the easy part. Um, I can live without the greenhouse for a year if that means that it's strong and solid for a few more years after. But right now, I don't even have a greenhouse at all. Both of them are dead. Like the wind we had lately just shred both of them. So one of them, I could put some more plastic on it, but it's going to be pointless because, well, the wind is just going to go through them again. I could take the frame. Um, I don't even know what that would be used for, really. Um, I don't know. I'll see what I'm gonna do. It's it sucks to lose two greenhouses in the same year. Um, I would need a high tunnel. That would be the best thing. But I mean, I could be doing that with my old temple shelter in the back, which I didn't do anything with in the last 5-6 years. I've had that there for like 6 years. Still didn't do anything. Oh, that's crazy. Hmm. So there was a soccer game where one of the player accidentally ran into the referee. The referee fell on the ground, and everyone was still playing. And one of the players just got down, took the whistle out of his hand, and blew the whistle. Um, so I'm gonna be going outside. I need to do this video for Scott, and I want to go see what's going on around on my property. If I have anything popping up, it's this time of year where every day is like Christmas. Am I gonna get something today? Ooh, I got this and I got that, and um, but I got work to do, and I'm gonna get going. So thank you everyone for being here. Hopefully I'll be able to talk to you all again next Friday. Until then, well, take care, and let's hope your garden this year is the biggest one ever.